Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Juan Emmanuel Aguilar Vázquez, and the course that I took is called Software Development Understanding Python. I chose this course because I'm a big fan of the programming language, and I have been hearing about Python since last year. So I thought that taking this course would be a good idea to improve my knowledge in the programming language. First of all, I want to answer 4 opening questions in order to know some basic information about Python. The first question is, who was the creator of Python? The creator of Python was Guido van Rossum in 1989, and he did it as a hobby project. The name Python comes from the British comedy TV show Monty Python's Flying Circus. The second question is, what is Python? Python is an interpreted high-level programming language with dynamic semantics. Its high-level built-in data structures make it very attractive for rapid application development. Because of its dynamic semantics, enterprises like Instagram, Pinterest, Arduino, Facebook, Google, etc. use Python as the main engine of his application. The third question is Python the best language to learn? We are going to find too many different answers for this question, but one thing is true. Nowadays, Python is one of the most popular languages in the world. It doesn't imply that Python is the best, but it allows us to know the importance of the language in the programming world. The fourth and the last question is, when to use Python? Python dominates in business involved in web development. The course taught me a new way to think about programming. This technique is called think, code, test, debug, and repeat, and was suggested by Annabelle. This new way to think about programming consists in a cycle of 4 steps. I'm going to explain the 4 different steps. The first step is think. We need to think in a possible way to solve the problem. Sometimes it's useful to write the main ideas in paper. The second step is code. The coding step is where we start cooking with what we have got. The third step is test. The testing step is crucial when we are trying to determine if what we create actually solves the problem and does what we intend. And the fourth step is debug. Debug means diagnostic and correcting the root cases of errors that have already been detected. In order to solve the problems, we are moving to the think step. So we need to think in a possible way to solve the new problem. What did I learn? I learned mainly 3 different things: data types, basic operators, and if-else statements. In data types, I find string values, numeric types, and boolean. A string is a text data type. The value of a string object is a sequence of characters. We can delimit the string values with either single quotes or double quotes. Integers, floats, and complex are numeric types, which mean they hold numbers. We use numeric operators with numeric types to form numeric expressions. An example of an integer is the number 5, the number 4, 3, -1, -2, -3, etc. An example of a float value is any number with a decimal part. I mean 5.11, 5.1, 10.2, etc. These float types are double precision values. And finally, the complex numbers. The complex numbers are numbers that contain 2 parts, the real part and the imaginary part. The imaginary part must be followed by a letter J. An example of a complex number are 1 plus 5j. And finally, the boolean. The objects of this data type may have one of 2 values, true or false. The boolean objects are commonly used with the if-else statements. For example, we can ask to us, is 2 greater than 1? And we already know the answer. Yes, 2 is greater than 1. And the boolean types, in this case, return the word true. Arithmetic operators with Python. Addition adds values on either side of the operator. Subtraction subtracts right-hand operand from left-hand operand. Multiplication multiplies values on either side of the operator. Division divides left-hand operand by right-hand operand. Modulus divides left-hand operand by right-hand operand and returns the remainder. And finally, exponent perform exponential calculation on operators. In the comparison operators, we found, for example, the 2 equal sign. If the values of 2 operands are equal, then the condition becomes true. This comparison operators returns a boolean object, for example, true or false. If the condition is satisfied, then The conversion operator returns true. And finally, I learned how to use the if-else statements. These statements are very useful for decision making in programming. I'm going to show two different examples and application of the if-else statements. In the first one, I'm asking to the user his or her name. If his name is Juan, the program will print "Hello, Juan." But if the name of the user isn't Juan, the program will say "Hello, stranger." I'm going to run the program. The program asks me, "What is your name?" My name is Juan. So I put Juan, and the program says, "Hello, Juan." But what happens if I put another name different from Juan? What is your name? I'm going to put Emmanuel, and the program says, "Hello, stranger." In the second one, I am asking to the user the password. If he or she already knows the password, he or she is going to receive the message "Access granted." If the user chooses the obvious option, I mean, if the user put password as password, the program will say "Try again, be clever." And finally, if the user put any wrong password, the program will say "Access denied." I'm going to run the program, and the program says to me, "Enter your password." I already know the password. The password is 1234. So I'm going to put the right password, and the program says access granted. But what happens if I put password like the password? I put password, and the program says try again, be clever. What happens if I put any different thing to the password or the right answer? I'm going to put I'm making a video, and the program says access denied. And that's all about my programs.